بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. نشهد أنه قد بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة. First of all, I would like to make like a revision of what we studied last time. We studied the definition of Quran Kareem. Who can remind us of the definition of the Quran Kareem? Yes, Sheikh? Now, anybody? تفضل. السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. We said that the definition of Quran Kareem is كلام الله سبحانه وتعالى المنزل على سيدنا محمد المبدوء بسورة الفاتحة المختوم في سورة الناس المعجز المتعبد بتلاوته which means that the word of Allah سبحانه وتعالى which revealed to سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم which started with Surah Al-Fatiha finished with Surah an-Nas. It was a miracle as well, and it was a challenge for all the world since that time till our time. And we distinguish between three categories, as I remember: Quran, Hadith Qudsi, and Hadith Nabawi. Who can remind us again? We said that the Quran is Kalam Allah, so the words and the meaning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from a human being or any other creation like jinn or malaika or whatever. So Al-Quran Kareem, the meaning and the word from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we said Al-Hadith Al-Qudsi, Al-Hadith Al-Qudsi. Who can remind us with Al-Hadith Al-Qudsi? The meaning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the meaning from Allah, but the words from Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. For example, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Ya ibadi, inni haramtu dhulma ala nafsi, fala tadhalamu. O my slaves, I've made the dhulm, the oppression, forbidden upon myself, so that we dhalim or oppressors. So this is Allah, the meaning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but who narrated us or who told us? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. These we call them Hadith Qudsi, Hadith Qudsi. While the Hadith Nabawi, it is or what the Sunnah, what was said by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ما صدر عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من قول أو فعل أو استحسان. قول speech or فعل deed or استحسان approval. We said, for example, the beginning of Sahih al-Bukhari, the hadith which narrated by Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu, إنما الأعمال بالنيات. This is قول from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this speech or this is hadith. And or what we can say amal, deeds by Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to use his right hands in everything, but not in cleaning himself, but usually using the right hand in everything, or walking in a way. This is a deed of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All approval. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't like to eat some animals, which is we call it a dog, which is the people of desert in Saudi Arabia know that thing. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't like it and he didn't eat it, but the Sahaba did eat that in front of him and he didn't say anything and he kept silent, which means it's approval, which is as I said last time, it's haram. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will not keep silent and something haram is done in front of him. And question for him. This is all what we mentioned last time. And we spoke about the miracle of the Quran Kareem and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged the Arab at that time to bring one surah or one ayah from like Quran Kareem. None of them can do that, could do that. And we mentioned the story of Musaylim al-Kadhab who tried to make a surah or something like Quran Kareem, and how the kuffar were trying to prevent Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam of making da'wah. Inshallah today we will speak, or I will start with a question. When the Quran Kareem started to be revealed? When the Quran Kareem started to be revealed? Some brothers were saying that it's a Tafsir session and to speak about Quran Kareem. I think we have to know about the Quran Kareem before we start. This is introduction, something important to know, something about the Quran Kareem. The knowledge of Quran Kareem is not short, it's too long, but we'll try to make it short as much as we can. So, this is normally it's a question. When the Quran Kareem started to be revealed, all of us know, I'm very sure. Try to remember. Ramadan, exactly. Ramadan. When is Ramadan? 27th or 20th. Laylatul Qadr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. So the Quran Kareem started to be revealed in Laylatul Qadr, where first when the Quran Kareem started, fi Ghari Hira, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam started to make i'tikaf. Seclusion, alone by himself. He was going to that mountain and staying alone, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although he wasn't a prophet, but he didn't like what was done or what were done by the kuffar. He saw that they are lying, drinking alcohol, making adultery, many things he didn't like. And this is from the sign of the prophethood, because we cannot find any prophet who was involved in these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepares the prophets, subhanahu wa ta'ala prepares the prophets, salawatullah alayhim, to be clean from any dirt from this dunya, alcohol or zina or whatever. So subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, liked exclusion and started to go to Bakira and to be alone there. But at the same time, we have to remember that sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he was going to Bakira, he didn't isolate himself from the others. So we cannot isolate ourselves from others. This is a very important point. Some brothers or some Muslims think that if the people are kuffar or not good Muslims or whatever, we don't have to mix with them. No, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, by the meaning, a Muslim that who can act with others. That doesn't mean that you have to compromise with your deen. You have to be strong in your deen, but at the same time, you have to integrate with others. You cannot isolate yourself. Imagine that, okay, we are Muslims and we isolate ourselves from this community. What will happen? We have to deal with others. The Prophet ﷺ, they deal with others. Even, subhanAllah, some of his neighbors were non-Muslims like Yahud, Jewish or Christian, and subhanAllah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was dealing with them and he was doing good to them, for them. And all of us know that the Yahudi, when he was knowing the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, putting rubbish in front of his doors, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one day, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam didn't find that rubbish. You used to do it every day. Imagine that every day you open your door and you find the rubbish in front of your house, you clean it and go. One day you didn't find, what you do? You'll be very happy. Yeah? Alhamdulillah, today there is no rubbish. Holiday today. But the Prophet ﷺ did ask, what happened to that man? He was told that he is ill. What happened? He said, oh, he deserves that. Do you think that? No. The Prophet ﷺ visited that Yahudi and he asked about himself and how his health, then that Yahudi accepted Islam. So the da'wah in Islam is not only by doing da'wah. Come, this is Islam, this is... No, sometimes you don't need to speak. Sometimes your behavior can tell. You know Indonesia? What of you know Indonesia? How Islam spread there? By the traders. Islam started in Tunisia by traders who were going from Jazeera al-Arab, from Arab country to Indonesia, and the people there saw the akhlaq, the behavior of the traders. They don't cheat, they don't lie, they are frank, they don't hide anything, everything is clear. They started to ask about these things. They found that their akhlaq comes from the Islam. Then they accepted Islam because of their akhlaq. And even Sayyidina, one of Sahaba, I think the time Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab, he sent a person, a leader, to open China. I think you know China, all of you, especially made in China. Now, and he said, I think Qutayba ibn Muslim al-Bahili, he went to China and he attacked them directly without giving them any warning. The people of China complained that the military leader, to the Khalifa, who was where? In Medina. They told him, in Islam, you have to give 3 choices. Either any Muslim leader, if he goes to any country, he said, he should tell them either to accept Islam or to pay jizya, what's the name of jizya? Tax. Or if you don't accept Islam or you don't pay jizya, the war after that. This leader didn't offer them anything. He started to attack. Some of their houses were demolished. And then they went to Sayyidina ibn Khattab. They told him that story. Sayyidina ibn Khattab was very angry. He didn't say, oh, he is a very high position leader, or he is a high commander, or he is a leader, you are not Muslim. No. He called him and he asked him to withdraw his army from China to the borders and to renew what was demolished and return everything to Chinese. After that, offering them these 3 offers: Islam, jizya, war. When the leader done that, they accepted Islam. Imagine if we can imagine that now. Will we find that? No way. When America attacked Iraq, did they ask them like that? Or any other country? Even when in Syria they attacked the people there, did they ask them for that? No, just attacking. And they consider, yes, we have to take them in sudden. This is al-harbu khid'a. No, it's khid'a, that's right, it's trick. But you have to warn them before. For that, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ordered us to deal with other peoples, with our akhlaq, our morals, which is comes from Quran and Sunnah. Always I say, it's not enough to study Quran Kareem with reading. It's not enough to hold the Quran Kareem and recite Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه, whatever, هدى المتقين, or any ayah, say MashaAllah, I'm Qari. No, it's not enough. That thing, the Quran, which you have to read, should reflect upon your behavior. Alaykum salam wa barakatuh. Should reflect upon your behavior. What's the advantage? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about Bani Israel, كالحمار يحمل أسفارا. What's the meaning of the himar? The donkey. كالحمار يحمل أسفارا. Salam wa barakatuh. Imagine that the donkey carrying or holding books. Will the donkey benefit from these books? No, no way. You cannot see, never ever, you cannot see a donkey reading a book. No way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warning us to be like them. Don't have a book without benefiting of it. This is Quran. You have to benefit. You have to reflect it on your life. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I said last time, say subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, you have to listen. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to you. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about some issues, you have to think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directed me to do this thing. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders me, I have to obey. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows my benefit more than myself. If we take example, if you have a car, say, what car? Give me a car. Opel, Ford. When you buy this new car, you start to fix it where? With the dealer. You say, no, I will not send it to any mechanic. I will go to the dealer. Why?
He knows about it.
Sorry?
Because he knows about it and he'll sure about it.
That's right, Sheikh. Worry. Because the dealer knows everything, and mashallah, because he made that car, or he makes that car, so he knows everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you, and he knows what's better for you more than yourself. For that, when you recite Quran Kareem, you shouldn't recite it by your tongue. You should recite it by your heart. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something, you have to think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. What does that mean, Sheikh Khawari? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Don't they ponder the Quran Kareem? When you recite Quran Kareem, don't you ponder the Quran Kareem? Don't you think about it? Or أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Or their hearted were locked. It's locked. Imagine. May Allah forbid us from that thing. Put a lock and close. What will happen? What will happen? Nothing will come. You have to have a key to open that lock in your heart. Open your heart. Put the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart, not in your tongue. If you go to history, you will find many people, especially what we call them in Arabic, mustashriqeen. What's the meaning of mustashriqeen?
Orientalists.
Yes, Orientalists who are memorizing Quran more than us. Why? They memorize Quran to destroy Islam because they studied it or they memorized it in a way not from their heart, from their tongue, so they can speak. But when they think in their heart, I'm sure that they will accept Islam without any hesitation. They will not hesitate because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to your heart, speaks to your mind. And maybe I told you, I don't remember, last time, before about 10 or more, 10 years or more, I was with Brother Sijjad. Once I went to Dawah Table at City Center with the Brother Sijjad. He was there as well. And he started that project with the brothers. And subhanAllah, Muslim person who using guitar, I mentioned that, yeah? Who was there last time, came to Dawah Table and he said, I want to listen to you, I want to hear some of the Quran Kareem. Brother Sijjad at that time said, you are an Arab, so recite Quran Kareem. I said, what shall I recite? He said, anything. I recited Surah Al-Fatiha. And that musician was listening. And he was doing like that, and he was listening. After I finished Surah Al-Fatiha, he looked at us and said, it were to be a song. What do you think about that? He felt about what you call it, nagam.
Sounds, right.
Sounds in the end of every surah.
Right.
And right, yeah. And he started to think, it were to be a song. Why? Because he felt about the Quran according to his knowledge. I'm sure that you heard many people accepted Islam because of the science. For example, when the scholar or the person who was a doctor was very happy in a conference that he discovered the stages of human being creation from nutfa, halaqah, mudghah, from nutfa, what's the meaning of nutfa? Clot, to halaqah, then till you become complete human being. And he was in a conference and he was happy. Then a Muslim scholar to him, came to him and he said, why are you happy? He said, because nobody did speak about this thing before me. This is something new. I discovered, I made something. Wow. Then that scholar told him, no, this is what's mentioned before hundreds of years. That scholar was astonished, shocked. Where in the Quran Kareem? What you say exactly is mentioned. Nutfa, halaqah, mudghah, meat, bones, then the meat. ثم كسونا العظام لحما. Because of that he accepted Islam. Who told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Who told him? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe they have a lapse at that time. Don't they? No. No, Sheikh, at the time of the Prophet, there wasn't any lab there. No, there wasn't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this person, after hundreds of years, came to us. Many things in Quran Kareem you have, as I said, to think about or reading Quran Kareem from our hearts. And as I said, subhanAllah, last time, when you have intention, believe me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. Make your intention for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for others. For that there is hadith. أول ما تسعر بهم النار يوم القيامة ثلاثة. Do you know who are they, Walid? Sheikh Walid. ثلاثة. Who are they? The hellfire يوم القيامة will start with three kind of people. السلام الله وبركاته. Who are they? عالم.
Fighter.
مجاهد fighter.
حافظ.
متصدق. The حافظ they consider it within عالم. This حافظ will come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Will say, oh Allah, I memorize the Quran Kareem for your sake. I'm memorizing the Quran Kareem. What do you think? I'm happy. And you promise the people who are memorizing the Quran Kareem with high position. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Kadat, you are a liar. You didn't memorize the Quran Kareem for my sake. You memorize it to be said, this person is Qari, this person is Hafid, and it was said. Khalas, you've taken your reward. You wanted the reward from the people, khalas, you didn't take the reward from the people. خذوه إلى النار. Take him to the hellfire. The second person, that Mujahid, or who thinks that he's Mujahid, will come and say, oh Allah, I did fight for your sake. I was Mujahid to make your word in high level, or to spread Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, you are liar. You did that to be said he's brave, he's Mujahid. MashaAllah, he's a fighter, he's a strong person. It was said. Khalas, finished. You didn't take a reward from other people. So take him to hellfire. Somebody may ask how a person will sacrifice in his life to be said that. And subhanAllah, if you go to fight and you are killed, there was the benefit of saying he was Mujahid. Khalas, you've come. You will not hear that. What do you think? Maybe for his tribe. And the evidence that during a battle, the Prophet ﷺ was with Sahaba, and the person was fighting with them, and he was injured, serious injury. And the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba said, oh, you are lucky. Bushrat in Jannah. He said, you, mashallah, you go to Jannah. He was very brave. The Prophet ﷺ said, what he said to Sheikh Haqqad, Sheikh Yazid. He said, no, he is in the hellfire. The Sahaba were surprised, but he was fighting with us, he was brave. Why is he in the hellfire? Then the Sahaba went to him. They asked him, what's wrong with you? You are going to Jannah, don't worry. He said, do you think I was fighting for that thing? No, I was fighting for the sake of my tribe. And he did take the arrow and pushed it in his button, and he committed suicide. He killed himself. So he was fighting for his tribe, to be said that this tribe, mashallah, they have very brave people. Other person will come and will say, I'm paying out of charity. I give money to students to study in the UK, say, there are many students coming to the UK to study and I give them money to study. I give the poor people, I've sent money to Syria, I've sent money to Egypt, I've sent money to Palestine, everywhere. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, you've done that to be said that, mashallah, he is muhsin. What's the meaning of muhsin?
Generous.
Very generous, kareem. God, mashallah, is kareem, he's spending his money for the sake of Allah. And you are right, you've done that to be said that he is generous. Take him to the hellfire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started the hellfire from these three people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Why you say what you're not doing? For that, when you recite Quran Kareem, you have to think, you have to make intention for the sake of Allah. I'm doing that for the sake of Allah, not to show the people. I've seen many people, unfortunately, some people, if you don't ask them to do the salah, they will be very angry. Why? I'm the hafiz, you should be in the front. If you ask it in this way, I do believe that you have to think about yourself. If the people ask you this something different, but if you see that you are better than others, you have to be careful. You have to think about yourself again. So your intention should be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I memorize Quran Kareem or recite Quran Kareem, should be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا. What's the meaning of يَسَّرْنَا? Make it easy. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We make this Quran very easy. But just come. To help yourself, you have to be seeking knowledge. You have to seek knowledge. You have to be a knowledge seeker, as we know. But if you want to make it as a job, no. If you want to show yourself, no, don't do that. Because you will go to other side. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make it easy. But as I said to you last time, you have to clean your heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not come to a dirty heart. As I said again last time, I was telling my students in the University of Jordan, when we were speaking about Quran Kareem or memorizing Juz Amma, I was teaching in school of education, because somebody may confuse about school of education or school of Sharia. I was teaching in school of education, and they were asked to memorize just Juz Amma, and they were finding it very difficult. I was telling them, I told you last time about what I was telling them about some non-Arabs were trying hard to read Quran Kareem. Subhanallah, I forgot what I want to say. La ilaha illallah. What I speaking?
حفظ الزعم.
حفظ الزعم. حفظ الزعم. يسرنا القرآن. نعم. I was saying them, you have to clean your heart. Unfortunately, many people listening to music, many people listening to songs, and you may find some people don't sleep at night crying because of a song, love song, or Titanic. Yeah, I saw that in Jordan. They were speaking about Titanic. You know Titanic, the story of Titanic, and love stories, and they were crying a lot. And when they recite Quran Kareem,
No fear.
أم على قلوب أقفالها. Who put this here? It's good that I'm using them. Subhanallah. So, as I said, you have to think about Quran Kareem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you if your attention for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you memorize it for other sakes, it will not benefit you. It will be against you. We spoke about the Quran Kareem was in the Hira, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam started to make i'tikaf in the Hira. And before before the i'tikaf, Sayyida Aisha radiallahu anha narrated about the inspiration and the revelation of the Prophet, or al-Wahy, revelation to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was even before that. In what? Dreams. Al-Ru'ya al-Salihah radiallahu anha narrated that the Prophet ﷺ used to see dreams which was coming كفلق الصبح. What's the meaning of the فلق الصبح? Early morning will be very clear, the morning will be clear. Which that means that the dream was happening like the fact was true as was seen by the Prophet ﷺ. Imagine that you see last night that you bought a new car, and in the morning you find that you have that car. So subhanAllah, so that. But the Prophet ﷺ, whatever he was seeing in his dreams, it was happening. So that was the first step of wahi. Then, as I said, according to Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha, the Prophet ﷺ started to love i'tikaf and he started to go there till Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came to him. And that was the face to face, we can say, with wahi. When Sayyidina Jibreel started to say to Sayyidina Muhammad, Iqra, read. Sayyidina Muhammad was astonished, scared. Imagine that you are in the middle of a cave, midnight, in a very high mountain, alone, and somebody comes to you. Not a normal, but not normal person, with wings, and what will happen to you? Many things will happen to you. But the Prophet ﷺ was shocked. He told him, Iqra, read. The Prophet ﷺ said, مَعْنَ الْقَارِئ. I'm not reader, I cannot read, or some scholars say, what to read. Then the Prophet Jibreel alayhi salam hugged Sayyidina Muhammad, take it, and he pushed very strong. And the Prophet ﷺ couldn't handle that. Then he released him and he said, Iqra. The Prophet said, مَعْنَ الْقَارِئ. I cannot read. Third time, اقرأ. معنى القارئ then اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Read in the name of Allah, your Lord. اقرأ باسم ربك, who created you, الذي who created you, الذي خلق الإنسان من علق, created human being from cloth علق, as we said before. اقرأ وربك الأكرم. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, highest. الذي علم بالقلم, who taught by the pen. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم, taught the human being what they don't know. Then the Prophet ﷺ started to shake. He felt cold, and this is normal because if we are human beings, when we feel scary or not well, we start to shake from the cold. And he ran to his wife, Sayyidah Fatima. Yeah? Khadija. Naam. How was this thing? Because, this is unfortunately what happened. I gave exam in Jordan and asked them to fill the gaps. And I was asking the name of Sayyidah Khadija, they were saying Fatima. And who's the Murdi'at al-Rasul? They put Khadija, Murdi'at, who Halim al-Sa'iyah, breastfeeding the Prophet ﷺ. And that shows you how ignorance will destroy the Ummah. If we don't know our history, khalas, we are finished. We know everything about, let us say about in our country, we know everything about many people, many artists, or many singers, or Michael Jackson, or
Champions League.
I don't know that. Even I can't even pronounce that. Football, or Messi, or subhanallah. But about our Islamic history, we don't know. I was asking many questions about something, it should be any child should know. But unfortunately, as I said, they couldn't know it. The Prophet ﷺ went to see Khadija, and he started to say, Dathiruni. What's the name of Dathiruni? Cover me. Because he was shaking from like a cold. And she was radiallahu anha, covering him and asking him to calm down, to listen to him. And Sayyidah Khadija radiallahu anha is a model of a good Muslim, or good wife, sorry, Muslim and wife, or Muslim wife, is a good model. How she received the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he mentioned the story, she didn't say, "Oh, you are crazy. Maybe you are staying there and start to imagine something." She listened carefully. And then she supported him. She said, "Wallahi la yuzika Allahu abada." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not put you down. Why? Because she knows her husband. Because you are generous. You are tasil rahim, close to your relatives. You are. Wallahi la yuzika. This is surely not something from your mind. Then she went to her uncle, which his name is Waraqah ibn Nawfal, and he was Christian, because at that time there wasn't Islam. At that time, before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all religions were accepted. Or, Yahudi or Nasrani, Millat Ibrahim, whatever, it was accepted. And she told him what happened with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "I think what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw is what was revealed to Isa and Musa عليهم السلام. ولئن كنت جدعا أو ولئن كنت معك عندما يخرجك قومك لأنصرنك. If I was with you, when your people evacuate you from your country, I will support you. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, "Or مخرجيهم, would they evacuate me from Mecca?" He said, none prophet came from what you are coming and stay at his country. All of them should be evacuated, and you will be. And this has happened in Hijrah later. And the wahy started to reveal to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in many. I will not take a long time because Sheikh is looking at me. And the wahy started to come in different ways. I said, Ru'ya Salihah dreams, and by coming like a bell. You know the bell? It was the Prophet ﷺ used to be with Sahaba, and they used to hear like a bell. When they hear that sound, they know that the wahy is there. Or by putting in the heart, يلقى في روعه, putting in the heart. Or by Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam. Or sometimes Sayyidina Jibreel was coming as an image of Sahabi. His name is Dahiyya al-Kalbi. And he used to speak to Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, like hadith al-Ihsan, when رجل شديد بياض الشعر شديد سواد الشعر شديد بياض الثياب came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He put his legs at his legs and he started, "Ya Muhammad," a person came, very white clothes, very black hair, came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he started to ask the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "Tell me what is Islam, tell me what is Iman." And he came, this person was Jibreel. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Do you know who's this?" He said, "No, Allah wa Rasul Allah knows." He said, "This is Jibreel came to teach you your deen." So Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came as a shape of human being. And the strongest or the hardest way of the wahi was Sawt al-Jaras, or what we call, according to the Prophet, Sansalat al-Jaras. That like a bell, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam start to sweat and feeling very hard, then the wahi comes. Now, the Quran Kareem came in one go, like this. No?
There is two things.
No, to give it to the Prophet.
The Prophet,
To the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, was graduate. Not one go, not like, this is Quran Kareem. Why?
Stage by stage, ayah by ayah.
Why?
Came because of beef, why?
Sheikh Awari?
Came because whenever, like, when something happened, that, the wahi comes to tell about the...
Based on the context.
To explain about what's happening and to tell them which is,
Good, that's right. Sheikh Yazid?
The beef, why? To keep your heart.
To encourage the Prophet, that's right. Other reason? So, as what said by Brother Awari and Brother Yazid, to strengthen the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as I said, is a human being. And sometimes when he was calling the people to Islam, annoying him, hurting him, not hurting him only, himself only. They were hurting himself and hurting his family, his tribe, every Muslim. And sometimes he was close to be down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was revealing, sending ayahs to reminding him about the previous people. Even Sayyidina Khubayb radiallahu anhu came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he was in the shadow of Kaaba. The Prophet was sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was lying down. Suhaib or Khabbab, I think, came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said, "Oh Prophet, make dua for us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, because the kuffar of Mecca were killing them, hurting them, torturing them." And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam became angry. He stood up and he said, by the meaning, what about the people who were in the past? You didn't reach them, you didn't reach to their level of torture. How? The person who were brought, you must shot. You know that comb, iron comb, which is used in lands and farmers. Al-mushti, you must shot. Comb, iron comb, and was putting in his meat, taking his meat from his wound. And he wasn't saying or he wasn't complaining, and he was silent just for the sake of Allah. And for something easy, you are asking for dua. The Prophet ﷺ didn't accept that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started to tell the stories of the Prophet ﷺ about the previous people, like what we inshallah will study about Ashab al-Hudud, Surah al-Buruj. How they were thrown in the hellfire and they were silent, just accepting Islam. Somebody will say that Islam was at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No, Islam is Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. For that Sayyidina Ibrahim says, بِذَلِكَ أُمِرْتُ وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I am the first Muslim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ Al-Islam, the religion is Islam. Inna deen 'inda Allahi al-Islam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to strike the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Just the heart of the Prophet and the Sahaba, the companions as well, with him as well. Another reason that the ahkam were coming step by step. For example, they're all at that time they were drinking alcohol. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, stop, khalas, no alcohol, they may not accept it. So start step by step. Then at the beginning, لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى. Don't come to salah while you are drinking or drunk. So if you don't, we have 5 times salah. So that means that you have to short the time of drinking alcohol, so it will be just in the night for a little while, because there is a fajr. Some of them started to reduce the injection, reduce the drink or the alcohol, and after that, then jura.
Take.
Now, then after that, the ayah came to prevent alcohol completely. So it should be step by step. At the same time, the Sahaba or the Ahkam of Quran Kareem was coming. So at the time of Ahkam, subhanahu wa ta'ala was sending the ayat. And even if you, subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you come and ask the people, and they are said at that previous time that they were ummiyin, they will not be able to read or recite, and ask them suddenly just go and memorize this, it will be very difficult. So, but it was coming step by step, they were memorizing it, or reading it, or practicing it. For that, Sheikh, your name, remind me, Sheikh? Omar? No. Omar, mashallah. I like this name. And my kunya is Abu Omar. What I was saying again, Omar. What I was saying.
About the, when the people they start reading the book.
نعم. It will come. Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab. Yeah, Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab used to say he wasn't reciting or memorizing other 10 ayahs till he practicing the previous 10 ayahs. So he was memorizing 10 ayahs. After that, go to the other 10? No. He was practicing what he memorized, and after that, moving to other ayahs to memorize that. So they were practicing the Quran before that. And usually I will not take more time because Sheikh Harun is very angry. The other question, why you start with Juz Amma? Now they announced, brothers, may Allah reward them, announced that we will make tafsir of Juz Amma. Why we need to start with Al-Baqarah? Shall we ask them or ask you?
We use it more than any other.
Now we use it more than any other parts of chapters of Quran, any other juz.
So the Baqarah is complicated.
Baqarah is
Complicated.
long, too long.
Complicated.
It's just complicated.
Mu'aqqad.
No, I know, but I don't want to use that word. It's not complicated. So I would say long, rather than complicated. Too long, yes. Any other reasons? Because usually, as you said, opposite of what brother Bilal said, Walid said, Surah Juz Amma, the ayat are short and they are very easy to be recited. Many people recite them in Salah more than other surahs, and it's very, as I said, it's very easy to be reciting. The most important thing that Juz Amma was revealed, the Surah Juz Amma was revealed in Mecca, and the Mecca time at the beginning was concentrating at Aqidah. Why?
Because we have to think about Aqidah before thinking about anything else.
Sheikh?
Yes, the belief needed to be strong first.
That's right, the belief should be strong. If we don't have strong belief, khalas. As we mentioned before, if we build a house without any pillars, what will happen to the house? It will go down, demolish, khalas, gone. But before you start any building, you have to put pillars, very strong pillars, and then you started to build the house. This is what happened to Islam. Start to build the Aqidah, start to create very strong Aqidah, and after that, build a human being. For that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't start to ask Muslims to pray, to fast, to make zakah. No, the concentration at that time was on Aqidah. After the Aqidah was built, the ayat al-ahkam, ahkam was the ahkam, ayat al-ahkam, the law of Islam started to come. After the building of Aqidah. طيب. Okay. Any question till now? Anything needed to be added? Anything to be... تفضل.
I would like just to go back in the beginning when you mentioned you had some lessons in the past and I wasn't around, and you mentioned the definition of the Quran, which is Kalimullah, the word of Allah. And then you mentioned the hadith of Qudsi
No.
and the other hadiths.
No.
I just would like to just stop a little bit. Why they are higher in status, the hadith of Qudsi, than other hadith?
Sorry, why?
Why they are higher in status?
Yes, because as I said, now the Hadith Qudsi is between the Hadith Nabawi and Quran Kareem. The Quran Kareem, we said, it's the word and the meaning from Allah. The Hadith Nabawi, the word and the meaning from the Prophet. What is between the meaning of Allah, the meaning from Allah, and the words from the Prophet? So it's higher than the Hadith Nabawi because the meaning from Allah. While the Hadith Nabawi is the meaning of from the Prophet. And it's less than Quran because the Quran is the word from Allah, while the Hadith Qudsi is the word from the Prophet. So it's in the middle. We can't say.
I want to think about because there's an ayah when Allah said that the Prophet doesn't speak from his mind.
Now.
Yeah. Now I would just like to stop to that. Are they inspired in complete sentence as they are in the text, or just
No, if it's what's sentence as a complete, we cannot recite them by meaning. Now, imagine that it's Salah. Can you change in the words?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Hadith.
No, I mean, okay, Hadith Qudsi. Same thing. What I meant, if it's sent exactly like a text, it will be like Quran. So it will be no difference between it and the Quran Kareem. So as I said, in the Quran, we cannot change any word in the Quran Kareem. Even we cannot change a letter. For that, many scholars, and we have to think, Jazakallah khair, for this question, we have to be careful for the accents. Brother Yazid knows that in Jordan, for example, we have what we call it Madani, Fallahi, Badawi. Madani, who was in the city, Fallahi from a village, and Badawi from desert, Bedouin. You'll find their accent is different. Something, when they recite Surah Al-Fatiha, they say, Wallah. It's wrong, it's not accepted. Because you change dot with law, and the scholar says as far as you can read the letter right, and if you change it, your salah is not valid. Same thing when you say the Madani, they are soft people, very soft. They ihdina sirata, it's a sirata, ansar, a sirata, we say sirata. Or the brothers in Egypt, one of my teachers in the university when I was a student told us as students a story that he went to Egypt one day and the Imam was reciting Quran Kareem and he was reciting وَمَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا وَمَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا ذُو حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ. Well, the ayah is وَمَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا وَمَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا ذُو حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ. He said, وَمَا يَلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الَّذِينَ, instead of الَّذِينَ, وَمَا يَلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا وَمَا يَلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا ذُو, he said, ذُو حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ عَظِيمٍ. Can he pronounce them in a good way? He can. For that, some scholar says, if you can pronounce them and you don't do that, your salah is not valid. But if you cannot, for example, now say one of brothers, like say Muslims, they didn't, we don't have an English law, yeah? We don't have a law, something like that. We don't ask, you cannot force them to pronounce them. They have to be trained, to have to train themselves to pronounce that. But if they couldn't, we cannot say your salah is not valid. But the person who can pronounce them, he should pronounce them in the right way. For that, as I said, the Hadith Qudsi, the meaning, we know, sometimes we say, by the meaning, بالمعنى, أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Because the meaning from Allah, but the words from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as we cannot pray in salah and say, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المؤمن القوي. We cannot do that, because it's hadith. Did I answer or? Barakallah fik. Any other question?
No, so to continue with this point, I think
Yes,
some scholars think that the hadith is actually in itself is a revelation from Allah, because the Prophet ﷺ doesn't speak from his own.
Yeah, but sometimes, as I said, the hadith, as I said, word or speech or act, deed or approval.
Yeah, because in here there is like like there's some people who believe just in the Quran.
No, this is
Quran. So
the easy answer for that. Give me ayah telling us that Salat al-Dhuhr is 4 rak'ahs.
yeah, I understand.
Tell me ayah telling us that Salat al-Fajr is 2 rak'ahs. No, there isn't any ayah. From where we can take that? From hadith. From the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The people who denies hadith, let us ask them this question.
Sometimes these helps us to understand the Quran.
Exactly. That's right. Jazakallah khair. In many occasions, hadith explaining the Quran Kareem. For that, even there are, according to ulama Sharia, say Tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. Sometimes the Quran explaining the Quran. Sometimes we use kalima, word. In another place, use another word. Why use there and use that there? So this is tafsir translation or the explanation of Quran Kareem by using the Quran Kareem. And there is tafsir Quran Kareem bil hadith al-Nabawi al-Sharif. And we have to be careful. SubhanAllah, the Sahaba or the Tabi'een or Al-A'imma, they didn't bring just hadith like that. We know, all of us know the story of Al-Bukhari radiyallahu anhu when he moved from a country to country to take one hadith. And when he saw a person lying at his horse, he didn't take the hadith. So you have to be careful. It's not easy. They didn't have computers at that time. They were moving from place to place, from country to take the hadith. And they were putting very hard rules to be followed till we say this hadith, sahih, hasan, and they said to divide them. So the hadith is a source, subhanAllah, of Sharia. For that we have Quran. First source is Quran, then As-Sunnah, then Al-Ijma', Al-Qiyas, many sources of Ahkam Al-Quran Al-Karim. Okay, any other question? Sheikh Harun and sisters, daughters, one other question?
I don't have access to that.
No, okay. Now we start inshallah with Surah Al-Ikhlas. I'll start with the last 3 surahs. Shall I start or stop, Sheikh?
No, stop.
Okay, we start Surah Al-Ikhlas. What's the meaning of Ikhlas? Surah Al-Ikhlas. Sincerity or?
Devotion, loyalty.
Naam. So, sincerity, purification, unity. So we are Ikhlas, making Ikhlas to whom? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these 3 surahs, Al-Ikhlas, an-Nas, Al-Falaq, are connected. I selected them to be as one unit, but I think today just we will start with Surah Al-Ikhlas, and inshallah next time we'll go to an-Nas and Al-Falaq. The virtue of Surah Al-Ikhlas, who can tell me the virtues? I'm sure that you know. Fada'il, virtues of Surah Al-Ikhlas. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said it's equal to 1/3 Quran Kareem. Who recited Surah Al-Ikhlas 3 times, will take the reward of Quran Kareem. So it's a good chance. Every day you can take the reward of Quran Kareem by reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas 3 times. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. قُلْ, when we say قُلْ, or when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say قُلْ. Oh, sorry, you have to start with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد. Who قل? Order to whom? Mushrikeen. To
the Prophet.
To the Prophet. To believers. To whom?
Everyone.
To everyone.
To whoever asks a question about who is Allah.
Who is Allah? Okay, good.
The enemy.
The speech from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is directed to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Oh ya Muhammad, say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to Sayyidina Muhammad. Oh ya Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad. Oh ya Muhammad, say, Huwa Allahu ahad. Qul, Huwa Allahu ahad. But the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed away. What are we still using Qul? The Prophet passed away.
To the Muslimin, I mean to the believers.
Okay, but the speech was to the Prophet, yeah? قل يا محمد. With difference if I say قل يا هواري. If Hawari goes, what will happen?
But that will carry on if somebody says
Exactly,
carry on.
because this is Quran and we cannot change a single letter from Quran Kareem. For that, one previous Arab leader wanted to change in the Quran Kareem and he was saying Muhammad passed away and let us drop Qul from Quran Kareem. This is not accepted. This is kufr. If you want to change something, if you ignore or deny one letter from Quran Kareem or one ayah, will be kafir. What we call it even, subhanAllah, the scholars say, ما هو معلوم بالدين من الضرورة. ما هو, which is authentic in Quran Kareem or in deen. If you deny that, خلاص, you are not Muslim. If you say, okay, I believe that, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله, and I want to accept salah, but I don't accept zakah, you are not a believer. If you deny anything from Islam, or any ayah from Quran Kareem, the scholar says that he is kafir wal-'iyadhu billah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that kufr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to Sayyidina Muhammad, قل يا Muhammad, because they were asking, the kuffar were asking Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad, Ya Muhammad, describe us your God. You are saying Allah, Allah. Describe us. Tell us, who's your God? What is shape, who is he, or whatever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, قل يا محمد. قل يا Muhammad, say, هو الله أحد. He is Allah أحد. أحد.
Unique.
One. What's the difference between أحد and واحد? وإلهكم إله واحد. Well here, and this is the only place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses أحد. In many places, Sheikh Walid, واحد, واحد. But in this ayah only, أحد. قل هو الله أحد. Why? What's the difference between واحد, one, and أحد?
It's only the one. One only.
Unique.
This is the translation. But in Arabic, no way to be the same. In Arabic, no way to be the same. Because, okay, why you use there? And just once used أحد, why?
Never change.
نعم?
Never change. أحد, always أحد.
Always أحد. And always he's واحد as well. What do you think? أحد is the highest than واحد. When you say واحد, what you have?
Why?
واحد. After واحد what? Two, three. So when you say واحد, yes, there is nothing but before واحد, but there is واحد, two. One, two. واحد, اثنان, ثلاثة. That's in Arabic. But in Arabic, when you say أحد, can you say اثنان, ثلاثة? No. Because this ayah contains all the tawheed. The tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is أحد. ليس كمثله شيء. None like him at all. For that, we cannot say, I will go to Aqidah a little bit. We cannot say Allah Sami' and put our hands in the air. Say Allah Sami', Allah is listening to us. No, the scholar says it's haram to say that. Why?
We don't know.
Because yes, we say, like, as we claim that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ear. Allah yarana in his eyes. No, you can't say in his eyes. It's not allowed to indicate. Because in this way, you are saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has eyes like us. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. None like that, like him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that, our ulama says, نؤمن, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees. Yara. But how? We don't know. As is proved in Quran Kareem, we believe that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears us. But how? We don't know. We believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a hand. But how? We don't know. According to some scholars, hand here meaning power, not hand. It means يَدُ اللَّهِ فَوْقَ أَيْدِيهِمْ means the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to be Be careful. So Allah, as I said, Allah huwa ahad. Ahad, so that's from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has 99 beautiful names, Asma al-Husna, or attributes. And according to some scholars, this is the most famous 99 names, while there are other some names. And they said the proof is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he was saying, making dua, Allahumma inni as'aluka bikulli ismin سميت به نفسك أعلمته أحدا من خلقك أو جعلته في علم الغيب عندك. What is the evidence? اللهم إني أسألك, oh my God, I'm asking you with every name you call yourself, you inform anybody or you kept it in your غيب, which we don't know. So that means, according to this hadith, that there are some other names we don't know. Is it clear? Okay, now the famous names are 99 names, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to use them to make dua. And وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْكَرِيمَةُ وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا مُنْتَظَّقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes these names, Asma' Husna. When you say Husna, what's the meaning of Husna? Beautiful, yes. Beautiful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like to use these asma names in your dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that, Allahumma, many hadith, we can say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used asma Allah al-husna in his dua. نعم اللهم انك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني يا رحمن يا رحيم يا قوي يا متين يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. These names from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are encouraged by Sunnah, by Quran Kareem, even by Quran Kareem, to use these names to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Samad, again, Samad is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's very important when we speak about Asma al-Husna, at least we have, as we said at the beginning, we have to know some meanings of Asma al-Husna and when we can use them if you can. I read a story in the past when I was young. I read a story that a person who was non-Muslim at the time of Jahiliyyah, after Islam, he wasn't Muslim, I mean, and he was close to a person, and the person was reciting Quran Kareem. And he said, وَهُوَ something, Ar-Rahim al-Ghafur. That person said, no brother, no way, it should be وَهُوَ al-Aziz. Because this position of the ayah, you should use Izzah, not Rahmah. Izzah means honor, not Rahmah. So even subhanAllah, this Arab person, as I said, they were very famous in this thing, they knew that this position should be mawqif, Izzah, honor, not Rahmah. So we have to know when we need to use this. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he say, قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنْزَعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Mu'izz. تعز من تشاء means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Mu'izz, giving what? Honor. وهو المذل, giving dishonor. Or dishonor. When can that be used? When we see what happened in our world these days, when some leaders who are staying since some time at our shoulders or chest, and they were thinking that none can move them from there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He has to them, has done to them. They moved in very bad way. They were, subhanAllah, I don't want to mention names, but subhanAllah, some of them gone with in very bad way. Mawqif, they were dishonored. What they were thinking that they have all the honor. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you izzah, then He take it from you because you didn't keep it. When you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Hakim, why? Hakim, you have to think. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hakim, what's the name of Hakim? From what? From wisdom, He's wise. subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a hikmah, wisdom from this thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He says about the sky, there is something carrying them. Is there a hikmah? Yes, because if there isn't something carrying them, what will happen? They will go down and that's it. There is a hikmah. وهو الصبور. Sabur is in sabr. Sabur. Patient. Patient. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is patient. If I come to Sheikh and insult him every day, he will be patient one day. Another day.
Not even one day, Sheikh.
No, because he's his close brother. So he said, okay, Ibrahim, I will ignore Ibrahim this time. And if Ibrahim comes every day and start to attack him, speak bad things about him with him. As we say in Arabic, الصبر حدود. There is a limit for the patient. The sabr حدود. At the end, he will not tell you. Even at the beginning, what will happen? Okay, I'll be sabr, patient. But what he will do? He will not give me anything. If he was giving me some job or whatever, I will not giving him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was insulted by many people. All of that is Razzaq, giving them Razzaq. Imagine that somebody saying, taking the most important thing from you, making shirk to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said Tawheed. And He is making shirk to you, worshipping others. All of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you rizq. Imagine Sheikh Yazid working with Sheikh Harun and I'm paying Sheikh Yazid. You will not accept that. Let Yazid pay. Let Harun pay. I will not pay. All of that, you, astaghfirullah, not you, others worshipping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you a rizq, provide you with provision, with money, with job, with everything. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from others. And we think that for that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. What does that mean? In the sky, your Harun, your rizq. سَنَتْرُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. What will be in the day of judgment? فَوَرَبِّ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِنَّهُ لَحَقٌّ مِثْلَ مَا أَنَّكُمْ تَنْطِقُونَ. فَوَرَبِّ. This is kind of Qasam, oath. Qasam. Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala need to oath to make qasam? No. But a person, a Bedouin, when he heard this ayah, he said, who make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anger to make this qasam. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need to believe, to swear or to make oath. All of that, He made oath. فَوَرَبِّ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِنَّهُ لَحَقٌّ. It's the right. What's the right? وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you the rizq in the sky, that means it's in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not in others' hand. So you will believe, nobody will take my rizq. Nobody will compete with me to take my rizq. Khalas, you have to take the reasons, study or whatever, prepare for the thing, and go. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you rizq. Don't say, for example, Muhammad didn't take my rizq. It was my job, he didn't take it from me. No, it's not your rizq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote that this is his rizq, not your rizq. So you have to believe when we say Razzaq, and I connected with Sabur. Sabur, patient, you are worshipping others, and He is giving you rizq. You are insulting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are attacking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you speak about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bad things, and He is giving you rizq, and He is patient. But at the end, it will be against you. And we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sabr, but He gives you indication. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you indication because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to punish us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create us to send us to hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us, but He gives us some indication. You have to be careful. Ibrahim, I started to send what? Grey hair to you. That means that you are close to grave. You have to be careful. I heard my friend passed away. Oh, my friend passed away, not me. It might be my turn. You have to be careful. It might be my turn this time. Another person has done that. Oh, this didn't happen to me. This is indication. This is warning from Allah, and He is sabr. Ya Allah, He loves you. Some people, subhanAllah, just they speak. My cousin, he was 36 years old. Listen to him, subhanAllah, this is my experience. My cousin was 36 years old. He was married. He asked his wife to prepare the dinner. And he asked her, when you finish, wake me up. That was in 2000. He went to his bed. Until now, he didn't wake up. He passed away. And he was 36 years old. Without any reason. Just in sudden. So you have to be careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are lucky that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you some indications. He's sabr and giving you some indications, and at the same time, He is Samad. Our ayah here, As-Samad. What's the meaning, ya Sheikh Omar, of As-Samad? As-Samad means that nothing can happen without His permission. Nothing can happen without His permission. Everything should be with His permission. Even the kuffar will obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in indirect way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا وَظِلَالُهُمْ فِي الْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا وَظِلَالُهُمْ فِي الْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ. What does that mean? وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ. That for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يسجد. Who? Man في السماوات والأرض, who are in the sky or in the earth, طوعا, with their acceptance, they will be happy, like a mu'min will make sujood. أو كرها, the kafir makes sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does the kafir make sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yeah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا. He made sujood, subhanAllah. He made sujood, not by himself. وَظِلَالُهُمْ. For that in the hadith, that the shadow of kafir making sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The shadow of the kafir makes sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَظِلَالُهُمْ. Al-Muslim, the believer, the mu'min, makes sujood by himself. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you to pray, you make sujood. Why? The kafir will not obey you, will not make sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but his shadow will make sujood subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu lam yalid wa lam yulad. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give a birth, or he wasn't born. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. None is equal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As I said, this surah was the surah of Tawheed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all Tawheed was in this surah. I'll stop now, and Jazakumullah khair for your good hearing and concentrating. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-azim wa nafa'ana jami'an. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair.